Do not just take a bicycle from someone. If someone says, hey, you want my bicycle? I don't need it anymore. Here you go. Don't do that. Don't. I'm pointing at you. Don't do it. Okay. Hey, before we get started, please remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment or a rating if you're listening on audio, and just do your best to support the channel. If you got anything from this episode, I really appreciate it. Thanks and enjoy. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to episode 155 of the podcast. I'm really happy to be back. I took a little hiatus, a little break. I'm refreshed. I'm supercharged. I'm just ready to rock. This episode, we kind of go back to our original roots, and I found a list of different concepts in Japan, of Japanese society, that I break down as I have done in the past. Some of them I'll revisit. You've heard me talk about. You might hear a few new nuggets of information. New listeners, you might be hearing it for the first time, but I think it's all relevant information. I think it all makes for good content, whether it's your first time or your second time hearing it. You can't hear it enough times, because you gotta pound it into your brain if you want to hit the streets of Tokyo running, or hit the streets of Japan running. Also, in addition to that, please don't forget to check out the description. There's also a few videos that I mentioned during the episode, but they're there for you as well. Some supplementary entertainment, edutainment, information, shit like that. So it's all good. So all right, let's get into it. Enjoy. Yo, ho, what's up, everyone? I just totally fucked up this blanket. Oh, shit. I just totally fucked this up. hey. See, I'm rusty. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to episode 155. I am back in effect. It's been a while. Happy to see you, or happy to have you seeing me, back in this bitch. No, it's good to be back. Again, no big deal. Let me just make sure it is episode 155. It's been about 3 weeks since I recorded, but I'll just tell you, because you might have been wondering, like, what was up with the long break, extended break, or whatever. Pretty much, it's a combination of things, but this is like, we're getting down to the end of March when I'm recording this, 2021. It's been about 3 weeks, so I had some family things I needed to take care of, like support family scheduling and stuff like that. So, plus work and stuff like that. So I really wasn't didn't feel the vibe to record for the past few weeks, and just get the feeling. It wasn't feeling right. So I wasn't pushing it. I told you, I think the last episode, it was just real quick. I was like, I had something last minute to talk about, but so yeah, just helping out with family stuff. And then, like, last week, to be honest with you, even before I recorded, like, I've been feeling kind of burnt out recently. So yeah, like, just the past year, just taking a step back, the past year kind of took I think a bit of a toll on me, just schedule wise. I kind of have had a pretty monotonous schedule for the past year since the whole situation started. So I'm trying not to say that word, because I heard, like, if you put that word in your videos, it gets flagged or whatever by YouTube. So yeah, the past year, just since everything happened, I've just been at work, I've been at Costco, or I've been at home taking care of my family, doing my fatherly and husbandly duties. So that cycle, every day pretty much, I was just feeling kind of burnt out a little bit. So like last week, my muscles were kind of aching mentally, physically. I was just felt really drained. So I was like, let me just, take a time out. I told my family, like, look, I just feel kind of burnt out. I'm going to take like about 3 days. I was working. I think I had 1 day off. I worked late one day, just a light schedule, and 1 day off. So, and then the other day I just came home like on Tuesday. I was like, look, you guys, I'm just feeling burnt out. I'm just not going to do anything for the next couple of days, just catch up on my rest. And honestly, I just slept so fucking much. Like, I knew I needed it, because 3 days I was just napping. If I was in the house, I was just napping. I came in the house on Tuesday. I laid down like until pretty much bedtime. Everyone went to sleep. Then took a shower and lamped out for a little bit. Went to bed. Slept. Like even when I was trying to get up, I was just like, if I laid down, I was just like out for like 3-4 hours at a time, plus the nighttime. So Thursday, same thing. So I went to Costco a little bit, but just mainly rested, So yeah, I feel completely rejuvenated, back on my feet, like my old self, So I think that's just what I needed. We all need that. We all just need to a break, a reset. So just ate a lot of food. Watched John Wick 3, which is funny. And some other shit. I forgot. I was watching some shit, watching some TV, drinking a little wine, which I'm drinking a little Costco wine, but not too much, and yeah, just having some me time, having some resting time. So I'm 100% back on my feet. I feel great. Yeah. But yeah, I was real fucked up like before. So when I realized I needed a break, that was when I was supposed to record last time. If you people who are subscribing to the audio, like, I just sent out a quick message to let you guys know. That's when I was like, that week would be needed. I realized I just need to take a break. So that's kind of what it was, the little mini hiatus, if you will. A combination of family scheduling, conflicts, plus just me physically and mentally needing a quick break. So but I'm great. Nothing, no biggie. I'm really, really cool. And I was also thinking about just not the format, but like what I've been talking about these past few episodes or weeks or months. I've really been kind of caught up in current events and news, and I wanted to kind of get back into the roots of the episode of what this podcast is really about. With current events, first of all, I don't know what's happening with the Olympics. Maybe I'm just full of shit. I don't know. Like, the torch relay is going on, but like, the person who was supposed to start the Olympic torch relay actually pulled out, like the day before the relay was supposed to start. She was like, in 2011, Japan won the Women's World Cup. I forgot her name off the top of my head, but if you Google 2011 Japan Women's World Cup, her name will come up. And so she was the captain of that team. And she, like the day before the torch relay started, she was just like, yeah, I'm kind of sick. I just can't do it. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Japan opened everything back up. Everything's cool now, but in a couple months, you know how we've seen this movie before, so I don't know what's gonna happen. At this point, what the government is gonna do is a complete fucking mystery to me. Like I said, personally, I think the Olympics are still not going to happen at the end of the day, but it was already announced that there won't be any spectators coming in from abroad. So I don't know. They might just say fuck it and just try, which makes no sense to me. I was talking with my mother-in-law about it like the other day. I was just like, yo, you can either, and this is we were talking about like, this is kind of like one of the, never give up. If you try your best, you can overcome anything. And the downside of that is Japan, like sometimes you just got to know when to give up. You got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them, and like this is a time to fold them cards, man. These bullshit ass 2021 cards you holding. So, because I mean, think about it. You want to have like a half-ass Olympics in 2021, or do you want to have like some real ass Olympics in 2032? I was kind of joking about if the Olympics are still around in 2032, because I don't really know if that's on the table. but if it's still around, like I would prefer to, all the work and preparation that you've done. Yeah, it sucks for the athletes. It really sucks for the athletes, but it's gonna suck for the athletes regardless. Just fucking call them shits off. And try and represent in 2032 is what I would do. But politicians, legacy, big money, which is what it's all about. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've been, if you've been listening for the past year, I've been going back and forth. I got lucky and got right like a year ago, but this time, like I really don't know what the fuck the government's going to do at this point in time. My money, if I had to put money on it, I would still say no Olympics, but just the government. Like, I don't know. But hey, I'm a fucking English teacher. I don't get paid to fucking make these types of calls. So, and I don't like to gamble. So, whatever. We'll see. I'll see. Just me and my dad have a friendly bet. He thinks the Olympics are happening, and I'm like, nah. So we'll see. All right. So that's pretty much about it. By the way, before I forget, I do have a couple of links in the description for you guys to check out. Just random shit. I think one is a mini doc about tattoos, and the other one is something about the bubble era in Japan. A quick 7-minute thing. It's a really important defining moment in modern Japanese history. If you come to Japan and meet any middle-aged person, they're gonna talk to you about the bubble era. If you just say what was the bubble to someone that age group, their eyes will light up and they'll tell you stories for hours. Not hours, but you'll get a couple of stories. But that's not kind of what I want to talk about here. I really want to, get back, like I said, get back to the roots of this podcast, in giving educational information about Japan. Now, this, I'm not quite sure if I have talked about this before. Let me go to the bottom of the list. Hold on and see, just in case. Yeah, okay. I'm not quite sure. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna start at the top of the list. I'm gonna go to the bottom of the list. So, in the past, one of my favorite tools to draw from was Talk Japan. And so this is 109 reasons Japan is a unique country. Again, just check the description and you'll see it there. But so I'm just go from the bottom of the list just to keep it fresh, just in case I don't remember if I've gone through this list before. But I haven't done a list in a while. But yeah, so we're just gonna get into this shit and do as many as I can. And I got family stuff to do tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna say it's probably gonna be long. I'm gonna try and go as long as I can, just because it's been a while. I want to talk. I want to, and especially this type of information. Is the heart and soul of this fucking podcast. So, like I said, I really want to get into it. So, and I got some wine, so what that means. When get me all sauced up, get me all liquored up, I start to ramble. So, just sit tight and let's get into it. All right. So 109 is kami, right? And kami are Japanese deity spirits. If I don't know if it's Buddhism or Shinto, or both of them. That there is, might be Shinto, that there is a spirit in everything, right? And the word God gets thrown around quite a bit in Japan. If you're really like a hardcore Christian person, you might have to get used to that. It's funny because in Japanese, you can say, kamida, like a person's like, you're a god of something, people would call you a god, in some, if you hear someone translate it, like I've had people call me a god teacher, you're my god teacher. And I'm just like, oh, thank you. I know what you mean, but thanks. So, yeah, you just gotta get, if you're a very conservative Christian person, whatever your beliefs are, you're just gonna have to get used to someone calling you a god at some point in time in your time here. It is what it is, like, or a soccer player or whatever, they're called gods. If you're really religious, don't take it literally. Again, don't go around like Bible thumping, because people use the word God, translated into English. It's not as impactful as you think it is, But yeah, there are gods for everything. So okay, number 108 is a Gokon. You've heard my funny, or for me it was painful Gokon story in the past. I like watching Japanese TV shows where they depict what goes on in a Japanese Gokon, because like I said, I've been in a Gokon, like an official kind of Gokon one time, but it was with all non-Japanese people and of course Japanese girls. But like, that's a completely different dynamic with all Japanese people. And I just want to kind of like hide behind a plant and like look and see exactly what goes on, in their natural environment when Japanese people do have a gokon sometime. Because if I'm actually in that situation, it completely fucks up the vibe of the movie. I think I have done this list before, but whatever. We'll remix it. We'll revisit some stuff. So I definitely have talked about Gokon before in the past, which is good. We have some new listeners, some new people. I definitely was not on YouTube when I did this before. So hey, revisit some old info. And if you're an OG listener and I haven't done this list before, and I'm just like drunk off this Costco wine, then just go ahead and let me know. Okay, whatever. 107, Michael-san. Yeah, Michael are shrine maidens found in Shinto shrines. They're historically linked to magic and intrigue. Yeah. Michael, I don't really have too much to say about Michael-san. They're they wear white robes. I don't know what the fuck to say. Like, I'm just gonna skip that one. 106 Kabuki. I haven't been to a Kabuki yet here. I probably won't never go. Like, it's just, Kabuki for me is one of those things. Like, if you're a tourist, you're gonna go because you're new to Japan. It's a very Japanese thing to do. You might have heard me talk about Super Kabuki. Let me see if I can. I'll try and put a link. Let me just put a memo for myself in my notes. Super Kabuki. Yeah. So Super Kabuki, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, it's basically a new style of Kabuki, where basically Kabuki artists, they redo mainly comics, more modern themes kind of stuff. It's more extravagant, more over the top, like manga themes, like Naruto, One Piece, shit like that. Really popular comics and stuff. Like I think they had a Bleach one as well. And just to draw more people into the world of Kabuki, make it more accessible, if you will. Of course, now with the current situation, I'm not sure how the Kabuki world is doing. Ebizo, who is I think the number one, like he's like the fucking Elvis of Kabuki, basically. He's from a long line of Kabuki artists. He has a son who will take over as like the top Kabuki guy. He has like a pretty tragic story actually, because his name is Ebizo again. But pretty much he had a wife. He's a widower. And so his wife actually passed away about like 5 years ago from cancer. And so they use Ameblo, which is like was a really popular blogging site before Instagram took off here, like about 5 years ago. And so his wife kind of blogged her final days before she passed away. And like it was on big, because he was already a big star, and I think she was a really big star. And so they kind of I think after she passed away, they recorded her final days and things like that, and their time together. It was a really touching kind of story when it went down. And so she's gone, and so him and his son, so his son is going through the training to take over. He's like it's like a long fucking family history of Kabuki actors and shit. So his son is like, I don't know, probably elementary school kid right now, and he's studying to take over the reins of a Kabuki artist, as Ebizo did from his father. I think his father, passed away or retired whenever, 10 something years ago, and Ebizo blew up on the scene sometime when I was in Japan. But I just heard Ebizo's name all over the goddamn place. But yeah. I like him personally, but anyway, he, speaking about the word of Kabuki, he's doing like, I think like a TV miniseries, now, which makes sense because, especially with COVID, and as well as I would also imagine the lack of foreign people coming into Japan, revenues for Kabuki are probably have been really, really down in the past year. So got to get on TV, so That's kind of what he's doing. Is just a signal to how things have changed over the past year. But if you do have a chance to go to Kabuki, check it out. Kabukiza is, Ingenza is the place to go. Apparently, I don't really know too much about it. Again, I'm not really interested, so sorry. All right. Yeah, this is something I had to get over. Number 105 is cook your own food restaurants. Now, this was blasphemy in America, right? And even if you watch Lost in Translation, they did a little bit about that there as well, but yeah, restaurants where you're basically required to cook your own food is kind of a thing. Shabu shabu, yakiniku, sukiyaki, okonomiyaki. That's all I can think of right now. But those type of restaurants where monjayaki restaurants where you're actually, they give you the ingredients, you whip the shit up yourself, and you don't worry. If you go with Japanese people, don't try to help. That's the only advice I can give you. Like, if you go, well, first, don't go by yourself if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, first off. Second off, if you go with Japanese people, just don't do anything. Just sit there and watch and try to figure it out. And then after a few times, you can kind of help out. Or, after a few minutes of seeing, like, something like, for example, in if you go to like shabu shabu or okonomiyaki, a big kind of thing, which is hot pot restaurants, is, which I didn't know the first few times, there's like this little skimmer kind of mesh net thing. And what you're supposed to do is skim the fat off of the top of the hot pot, right? It is very important to kind of preserve the flavor of the food. You don't want to be just eating like boiled fat back or whatever the fuck it is, from your plate. So skimming, using a little mesh net to skim off the fat constantly is something that's constantly done. I would say the food preparation stuff, just leave that to Japanese people, but skimming the fat part is kind of like the dirty work of eating shabu shabu or not sukiyaki or shabu shabu or sukiyaki. So that is something you'll know what it looks like. It's just like a little like ladle, but instead of a ladle, instead of like a spoon ladle, it's just like a flat mesh net that you have, like a flat mesh kind of thing on the end of it. And you just watch what the Japanese people do. They just kind of skim along the surface of the water, collect the fat, and then dip it in and kind of dispose of it in like there's a little small bowl of water normally next to the hot pot, and then so you just clean it off there, and then every few minutes, if you see like amount of fat on the surface of the liquid, you just keep doing that. That's, I'd say, a good job to do if you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. Just watch Japanese people do it a few times and then go at it, right? Yakiniku is a completely different ball game, though. I'll just tell you that. Bonsai, number 104, can't say shit about that. Besides Daniel-san and the Karate Kid, but in Japan, like, nobody gives a fuck about bonsai. Actually, at least most modern people don't. Japanese gardens, again, it's more touristy kind of thing. I haven't really been to a Japanese garden since I can't even remember, so I gotta skip that one. Number 4, Shotengai. Yeah, this looks like, well, every Shotengai kind of looks the same. It's just like a shopping arcade, just a long shopping arcade with a bunch of small shops in it. Some people love Shotengai. I'm not really like a Shotengai kind of guy. Shotengai kind of guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not like really a Shotengai kind of guy. It doesn't really move me. It's just like, okay, it's just like a bunch of fucking shops. Like, it's like going to the mall, except like it's just all one corridor. So, but even it's just like a bunch of old shops. I don't want to go into a supermarket and a couple of small joints. Like, okay, if there's like a restaurant or something, I might go into it, but it's nothing that gets me excited. My blood doesn't get pumping when I get to the Shotengai, But, Japanese people love them. I used to live near one that was quote unquote the longest Shotengai in Japan. I don't know if this is true or not, but everyone used to say it. I imagine at some point in time it was true. I can't imagine it's still true, but it was the quote unquote longest Shotengai in Japan. It's like a 10-minute walk down the motherfucker. A lot of different shops, but you know, I mean, I never felt like goosebumps walking down it. It was just like, okay, I'm going to the supermarket, I'm going to the bike shop, I'm going to get some ice cream. But that's about it, you know. So, but hey, you know, to each his own. So leave it at that. Number 5, Mama Chari. Mama Chari. When you come to Japan, the first bike you're probably gonna get is a mamachari, which is just like a pretty basic. A mamachari is basically like a mother's chariot, is how it would translate to. It's basically like an old style Japanese bicycle with a basket in the front that, you know, housewives typically ride. No gears, bare bones. Cheapest thing you can get, you know, with 2 wheels and some pedals. It does get you from point A to point B. The first bicycle I got here was given. It was an old ass Mama Charlie, given to me by one of my students. And remember, if someone does give you a bicycle here, here's an important point. I can give you this tip: be careful. Do not just take a bicycle from someone. If someone says, "Hey, you want this my bicycle? I don't need it anymore. Here you go." Don't do that. Don't. I'm pointing at you. Don't do it. Okay, because because what happens is, like, bicycles here are registered, so, or they're supposed to be registered. So occasionally, like, I've been stopped by the police to check my bicycle registry, and if your bicycle is stolen or it doesn't match your ID, it can become an issue for you. And like I've mentioned this before on the podcast, you can end up in like a Japanese police station disappearing for a couple of days, you know, especially if it's a drunken night. You just like, fuck it, I'll ride it home. Nah, don't do it, right? And so if someone gives you a mama chali, what you're going to need to do, if it's a Japanese person especially, you're going to need, this is the procedure. I had to learn this. I forgot how I learned it, but pretty much what you're going to need to do, you're going to need the person to write you, if it's a Japanese person especially, write you a letter saying that I've given this bicycle to blah 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 person as a present, you know, or sold it to blah 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 person, and then get it name and have, you know, maybe their name, their phone number and address written on there, you know, and then have it names, and then have them like use their name stamp if they're not able to go with you to the nearest bike shop in person. Ideally, that person will go with you to the bike shop and have the registration transferred to you. But if not, you gotta have like a letter with a person's, you know, telephone number, address, name, and a name stamp approved, so that at least the bicycle shop person can see, like, okay, it's official. All right, this person, you know, is clearly there. And then they'll give you like a registration form or whatever. They might even call the person just to double check, and then they can do the registration. It costs like 500 yen, which is like $5. You know, it's pretty straightforward after that. And then it's officially your mama chariot. So that's that. Okay, let me do this. We're 20 minutes deep. I'm out of wine. All right, let me go refill, and then I'll come right back. So hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. I forgot what the fuck I was doing. I haven't done this shit in a while. I'm rusty. Okay. All right. Yeah, I have done this list before, but whatever. It's all good. You know, I can remix the information. So, all right. Number 100 is poison. Oh, maybe I haven't done this list before. Maybe they reused some of the pictures. I don't remember. But I've some of these pictures I've seen, you know, years ago, a couple of years ago. But whatever. It's all good. I might even get through this whole list. Not tonight. Fuck that. I got shit to do tomorrow. Like, I'm stopping on after this page. But you know, I'm enjoying, again, this, it feels like, to be honest with you, it is refreshing to have these types of conversations on the podcast. I feel like I haven't really had these, well, in about a year, I haven't, to be honest with you, had these types of conversations, you know, really given my take on Japan for about a year. So it's kind of good. It's fun for me. You know, it feels kind of, back in my bag. Okay. Okay. Poison foods. Again, OG listeners, you've heard me talk about blowfish or pufferfish. One time I went to a pufferfish restaurant. It's not my favorite food. It's just expensive. I think it's a status food. Just my opinion. I have had it at some, you know, classy Tokyo house parties. if that's what you will. But it's just very thinly sliced. If you've had squid, it's kind of like very thinly sliced squid, except a little bit more flavorful. Especially if it's seasoned correctly with soy sauce or some other sauces like that. Is good. The presentation of it is beautiful. I'll say that. But for me, the flavor of it is, I prefer some tuna, than that. But some tuna sashimi, some mid grade tuna sashimi would probably be more ideal for me. But house party, they pass around the pufferfish. Oh shit, it's going down. Balling in Tokyo is kind of like you're in a baller party if they're passing around the fugu, man. It's like just letting you know, just letting you know. Okay, next, Girls' Day, Hinamatsuri. It's just a holiday to pray for the happiness and health of young girls. And I heard some shit like, I forgot, like, if you have to keep putting up the Hina dolls, or like your daughter doesn't get married, or some shit like that. I don't know. Again, I don't have a daughter yet, so yeah, I can't really call it. Okay, Japanese New Year's, number 98. Japanese New Year's is a big event. I told you it's my favorite event pre this situation. Yeah, and it reminds me very much of Thanksgiving in the States. Family, food, which I'm not really a fan of. Alcohol, which I am a fan of. House parties, shrine time. It's just a lot to do. It's kind of hectic, but again, the only thing I can say is in Japan, the festivities start after midnight generally, from New Year's Day, versus in the West, before midnight is kind of where the majority of the action is. That was the biggest difference I found culturally. So, during the New Year's holiday, if you come here, you ain't gonna be doing shit generally until after midnight, unless you go to a nightclub or you go to a bar or something like that. But if you're hanging around a Japanese family, you're in a long-term relationship, just go with the flow. This is one of these situations you just gotta go with the flow. You're gonna eat a lot of, for you, gonna be weird food. You're gonna drink a lot. Just go with it if you drink. So that's my advice with that. And then you'll get the hang of it over time. Jizo, I'm not too schooled on Jizo. I'm not gonna talk about it really. It's more religious thing. Capsule hotels, if you haven't heard, like, I've never fucking stayed in the capsule hotel. I don't know how the fuck to find the capsule hotel. I see all these goddamn capsule hotel fucking documentaries. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't want to stay in a capsule hotel. I just prefer a regular hotel, so fuck it. I'm not gonna talk about it. Like, I mean, it's a cool little thing, but I don't know what the fuck, man. For real, I'm just saying. Izakayas. I don't know why capsule hotels stress me out so much, but izakayas are good. Izakayas are very good. Not that good for me. I mean, it depends on the type of izakaya you're going to. Again, I'm more of like a social drinker. I want to meet and mingle with random people, particularly women. Just saying. just saying. Like, I mean, I'm not taking anybody home or anything, but I'm not trying to have like a sausage party around me when I'm drinking. I kind of want to, meet some new people, talk, see some smiles, some faces, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, so izakaya, like, if it's just a bunch of dudes sitting around drinking, I get pretty antsy pretty goddamn quick. Like, I'm just like looking around like, goddamn, is there any like nearby table I can like shoot eye to, get a laugh, get a wave, get some type of random attention, especially if I'm just surrounded by dudes. Like, it's just boring as fuck to me. I'm just like, goddamn, this sausage party, get me the fuck out of here. So I'm just used to going to places like a house party, a nightclub, a lounge, somewhere where the possibility of meeting random people is there. I think that's what, for me, that's the definition of going out, is meeting random people. Like, not talking to everybody. You can just stay home and talk to everybody, like, you want to, like, get some vibes going, man. So, izakaya for me is not the spot. I mean, for food, it's fine. Date, it's cool. Pre-game, it's nice, but I can't spend my whole night at izakaya. I tend to get quite antsy, and it's generally not going to be my second stop on a night out. It's probably going to be the first stop, where you go fill up on some food, pre-game some drinks, then, get the night going after, you kind of ease your way into the action. It is kind of how me and my crew used to roll. So that's how, I would kind of call it, 94 Bushido. I'll let Age of the Samurai, which I still haven't got. I was thinking, during my chill mode kind of sessions over the past few days, I was like looking at it on Netflix, and I was like, should I give this a try? And I was like, fuck it, I'll do John Wick. And then it was just like some Americanized, like, samurai type shit going on in John Wick 3. But I kind of wanted to see it because I haven't seen John Wick 3 yet. I hadn't seen John Wick 3 yet, so I kind of wanted to see it, but it was it was weird, like, because just halfway through watching John Wick 3, it was like, okay, it reminded me how that American culture just lumps Asia into just one big thing, because it was just a mishmash of a whole bunch of Asian stuff, and it was just like, wait a second. This guy, he's like Japanese American, nothing wrong with it. He's speaking like Japanese, okay, cool. Sorry, I'm not trying not to spoil. Well, fuck it, it's been out for years, whatever. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's a crew of ninjas. Like, all right, gotcha. But it's the dude from the raid who is kind of like Southeast Asian. So there's Southeast Asian ninjas mixed in with Japanese ninjas, mixed in with like American ninjas, who, it was just all fucked up and weird for me, like, just watching it, like, living here, because it's clearly like, but I know, like, the average American person doesn't give a fuck. It's Asian, it looks Asian, whatever, but living in Asia, you definitely do get a better understanding of the differences between cultures in different parts of Asia. Like, when I was in America, Japan, Korea, China specifically, I'd even put maybe Vietnam kind of lumped in. I'm not gonna lie, lumped in the same category to me. But now I have a very, very distinct difference between, those cultures, and I think, which, as you should, as you live in an area or a place, you kind of have more of a mind frame of the nuance of it. Just like me, even now, like, I haven't been to Europe yet, but Northern Europe, for example, I kind of don't have a mental distinction between, like, Sweden, Norway, or, like, Denmark. I don't even know if it's the same. I don't know, like, in my mind, like, I can't really find any differences in my mind with those. But I'm sure, like, when in the future I go there and I spend a bit more time there, I'll be able to distinguish quite a bit more. So John Wick 3 made me laugh for several reasons, and that was one of them. But Bushido culture is very popular. It is what it is. Let's move forward with 93, which is convenience stores. Convenience stores in Japan, convenience stores in America are fucking night and day, man. Like, Japanese people are so surprised when I tell them that working at a convenience store is a dangerous ass job in America, because convenience stores are fucking dope here, man. Like, I forgot, I was watching something on YouTube or something just about fawning over Japanese convenience stores. And it's true. Like, I take it for granted now that I can do so much shit at a convenience store. They're everywhere. I mean, to work in a convenience store is a pretty rough job. Like, it's just demanding hours-wise. It's more of a grind. You're on your feet all the time. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine how much you're on your feet. Working at a convenience store, you gotta run all over the place. Like, you gotta say the same shit all over again. But as a customer, like, there's a lot of services, banking services, money transfer services, ATMs there, lots of food, of course, beer, alcohol, like, It's just a lot of shit you can do there. No gas at convenience stores here. I have not. Yeah, that's a different thing. Like in America, you got a combination gas station / convenience store. In America, they're very separate. The services are very different. So, but convenience stores are a majority of convenience stores are open 24/7. So they definitely get the job done. There is a place you will spend a large amount of your time at. Once you move to Japan. Number 92, pachinko. I've never been to a pachinko place. I think I've told you this before. I missed the window. Like if you do want to go to pachinko, I advise you do it within like your first month of coming to Japan, just because if you don't do it in your first month, you're probably not gonna do it. Like after like 6 months, you're not gonna be like, hey, let me go to the pachinko parlor and see what this is all about. You're just not gonna do it. Like it's just weird. But when you don't know what the fuck is going on here, like, all right, hey, whatever, shiny machines, woohoo, 91, ryokan. Ryokans are dope. That's it. Like, it's just, you feel like a fucking samurai. Like, I'm just saying. Like, first time in a ryokan, you put on that goddamn nice little pajamas, get that robe on you, sitting down in that room, looking at some peaceful shit, going to some hot springs. Like, it's nice. It's just nice. The ryokan's nice. I mean, depending on the quality of the ryokan you go to, if you go to a newer one that doesn't smell like oldness, like an older one smells dusty. If you want the one and you go into the room and it doesn't smell dusty, you're doing something nice. If you go to like a nice one, like it's really, really nice. But even like an older one, it's totally fine. It's not a big deal. If it's not like super old, it's fine. But the cheaper ones, like the bottom of the barrel ones, look, but mid-level, even a little bit pricier one, go for it. I haven't been to one with like a private onsen in the room, not yet. I'd like to get there in the near future, somewhere in the near future, because it just seems like a lot of fun just to go to sleep, wake up, and then jump in the goddamn bathtub. That seems like dope, but yeah, it's good. 90, Ikebana. Don't really know anything about Ikebana. 89, kotatsu. You've heard me fawn over kotatsu in the past. Again, it's just like a heated table that are designed for tatami mat rooms. They're very low, blanket over it, heated underneath. It's just nice. Like, again, kotatsu and New Year's go hand in hand. You're just gonna fucking love it, man. Like, we don't have a kotatsu here now, but just because like got a son, he's running around, like there's no way in fuck like I'm gonna have like a small child running around like a kotatsu. It just doesn't work. But it is a good thing to have. It just I told you, it makes you lazy because it's just so comfortable. You're gonna take a nap under it, you're gonna watch TV in front of it, like under it. Like, you're just not gonna do shit if you got a kotatsu in your room. But it's good, in summer you can take the blanket out and it's just like becomes a regular table. Of course you don't use the heater, but then once fall rolls around, like, it is really fucking nice. It's just nice. Okay. 88, Japanese fast food. Again, I'm not really a big fast food person anymore. In other areas, especially Osaka is the fast food mecca of Japan. Besides Osaka, every area has some fast food. You can pick up some good fast food wherever you go, but Osaka is where it's at. That's really all I can say. Individual places are definitely have a huge leg up over chains in general. But in the Tokyo area, even going to a kebab place, good bet. Like, pretty much, I have not had a bad kebab in Japan in my experience. I'm just gonna move on from that. Like, just to get through this page. 87, Japanese tea, specifically green tea. I was talking to a student the other day, and she was talking about like when she went to America, and like, she was at 7-Eleven, and I think she was trying to get some tea, and she was getting that Lipton unsweetened, and the person was like, "Ugh, why are you getting that?" Basically. I remember living in America and like drinking unsweetened tea and was like, basically spit it out. What the fuck is this garbage? But like, honestly, like I drink unsweetened tea now. Like I don't want sugar in my tea. No, I don't need that. Like, green tea, unsweetened tea, jasmine tea, like your taste buds change living in Japan, and your palate becomes a lot more delicate, and you realize like the amount of artificial sugar put in every goddamn thing in America, especially if you're American. So yeah, I just don't really fuck with sweetened. I mean, especially now I've changed, my diet anyway in like maybe several years ago. So yeah, I just don't have sweetened drinks. I don't drink soda. You know, pretty much, yeah. Like Japanese tea is has definitely made me a healthier person. I can't even imagine the amount of sugar I've cut out of my diet by drinking like Japanese drinks. Like currently I'm on like gobo tea, which is burdock tea, which is Dr. Sebi endorses, is an extremely healthy root. One of the fruits that is keeps your gut in line, is gets the pH going all well, and helps fight cancer according to this guy. And I'm not like a fucking health expert or anything, but say fuck it, like might as well do it. So that definitely helped me out. How many fucking drinks are on here? Okay, let me keep going. There's a lot of these. Shit. Okay. 86 family salon, hair salons. I ain't got no hair. I've never been to a hair salon here. Like I can't tell you shit about that. So 85 family restaurants. Oh, this is like a cute girl. Okay. My bad. I got I forgot I was on camera. I was like, oh shit, a little cutie pie. Let me zoom in on this. Hold on, give me a second. Let me be a perv. Okay, want a little karaoke joint? Okay. Yeah. God damn it. Okay. Perfect over this family restaurant chick. But all right. But anyway, whatever. Yeah, family restaurants are cool. I don't really hang out in family restaurants, but I do go there occasionally. Yeah, they're basically cheap. It's just a diner. That's all it is. A Japanese style diner, inexpensive food, no frills, but open late, maybe in 24 hours a day. Boarding cat parties. You've kind of heard me talk about boarding cat parties in the past. 84 is boarding cat parties. Pretty much drinking parties. Again, lots of alcohol going down. Shit goes down in the boning cat parties. So just be ready if you are a drinker. Put your big boy pants on and get ready to rock. If you're not, I would say just tread carefully. There are especially if you're a woman. I mean, nothing crazy would happen, but just avoid any uncomfortable people. Japanese people in boning car parties tend to turn up the volume to like 100. They turn up more than I do, like on a Friday night in my 20s. So just be aware that the people who have been quite demure is that a word, demure? I think it's a correct vocabulary usage. And during the daytime in the boning car party, we'll go off 83 Japanese rice. Yeah, koshi hikari is probably a standard Japanese rice that you need to know. There's one more new one. I was told to buy it recently. I can't remember the name of it, but definitely koshi hikari is gonna be a standard Japanese rice. That has become the main staple. If you just tell Japanese people, hey, koshi hikari, they'll hook you up and they'll be like, oh, what you know about that? Okay, you know the shit, but there's tons of different types of rice. I mean, everything's good, so I don't really complain. 82 setsubun, I've kind of talked about it. We had setsubun recently, but whatever. And 81 manners and etiquette. Yeah. I think I've done this before. I can't remember, but this 81 shows a sign like mina miteru yo, and on the tray is an old sign, basically showing saying that bad examples of bad manners. Oh yeah, not letting people on the train, sitting down. It's a weird sign. It might probably old, but I think I've done in the past episode going over some train manners posters, but pretty much, I've noticed that generally manners type posters in Japan talk about other people are watching you. I've gone over this in the past, that other people are watching you. In the West, it's more don't do this shit, but in Japan, it's more other people are watching you. Again, self-consciousness is a really important negative motivating factor here in Japan, and it kind of or shame, sorry, if you will, and so it really pushes that, what's the word, awareness of doing something wrong. So manners are good here in Japan. Sometimes it can be a bit overkill. It could be a bit too much, especially the longer you're here. The more you're aware of manners, the more you feel a bit constrained by it. But, if you're like a free spirit and want to just do you, fuck the system, then you might have a bit more trouble being here long term. But, me, I'm just more like, hey, when in Rome, I just roll through it. I don't really take anything to heart, really. So, and again, you remember, you're not Japanese, so trying to do everything perfectly in Japan is not going to work. Just try your best and know that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make faux pas. It is what it is. This is part of life here, and that's something that will never go away. Like, even me as well. Like, I'm constantly, I sent a message, like, with some work related shit, some private like lesson stuff, and yeah, I fucked up on my email, like, and I had to like, oh shit, the person was like, do you mean this? I was like, oh yeah, my bad, sorry. I know like my email manners are a little bit too casual. Like, sometimes I gotta double check with like my family, is this okay? And I gotta make some changes, but it is what it is. Like, I've kind of gotten over the self-consciousness of like not being able to completely perfectly do everything just like a Japanese person. If you do have that kind of self-consciousness, you'll drive yourself crazy, because no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, you're not Japanese and you're gonna eventually make mistakes. And so if you take that to heart, you'll just fucking go insane. So just don't even bother with it. But don't take that as, a license to just say fuck it or whatever and be a complete asshole, because manners do go a long way here. If you've heard me talk about it before. Like, manners, respect, and just general awareness of the Japanese way of doing things can really take you a long way in not assimilating into Japanese society, but what's the best word, peacefully coexisting, and being able to enter Japanese society. Because being in Japanese society and entering Japanese society, I think, are two very different things. And it takes a mutual understanding to be able to enter Japanese society. Like, you can be like a foreign body in Japan, like you're like a cyst. God damn. You're just like a cyst. Like a polyp in Japanese society, or you can actually flow through Japanese society like a goddamn red blood cell, I don't know, whatever, if that makes sense. Whatever. All right, I'm gonna stop there. Good stuff. Like, even though some stuff I've kind of retreaded or talked about over again, but I'm happy to do it. I haven't done this in a while, and so even it's a new unit of time for even people who listen to the previous episodes as well. So I'm sure you might have picked up on some things that you haven't before. So I'm looking forward to listening back on this, with fresh ears, as you will too, hopefully, as we continue this fucking Japan According to Akil journey together. Okay, that's over the top. Goddamn, let me get the fuck out of here. I got some shit to do tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching. Looking forward to hollering at you next time. Peace.